Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 4 of the Girly Nerd Podcast. On today's episode, we are talking about our top 5 favorite Cinderella movies. And my guest today is my good friend, Rachel Wagner.
Yay.
She is an amazing film critic and journalist. She has more than one podcast and YouTube channel. You were one of the first people to invite me onto a YouTube channel right after Darren. Yeah, and your work is amazing, and you're such an inspiration. The quality of your work and the amount you do is very inspiring. Do you want to talk about?
So nice.
Yeah. Do you want to talk a little bit about your different podcasts?
Yeah, so I definitely do keep busy. It's a lot of fun, and I have sort of 2 main hubs. I have my Rachel's Reviews, which has kind of transitioned in the last couple months because I've been working for KSL Movie Show here in Utah, which has been a dream come true. Amazing. So that's been a big focus, more new releases than I used to do the last few months because I've been doing that, and that's been great. But I have a Talking Disney Classics podcast that I do with my friend Stanford. We've been doing that for over 100 episodes. We've been doing it for, I think we started like 2018, which is wild, or 19, something like that. That we've kept it up that long is crazy, but really fun. And then I've also done the Female Film Critics panel, where I have female film critics, podcasters, content creators, journalists, things like that on, and that's been super fun. And so there's a lot there. But then I have the most successful thing I do is called the Hallmarkies podcast, and that is to cover rom-coms, romances, Hallmark, and have a bunch of friends who help me do it, and that certainly keeps me busy, especially during the holidays.
Yes, and the Hallmarkies one especially, you really tapped into a very specific niche that definitely has an audience, and I just love it so much because it's not something that's on YouTube that much. I would say, as far as like the film YouTube, I would say there's not a lot of that.
Well, thank you. There have been a bunch of people who have kind of tried to get in the game, but most of them haven't lasted long, which is understandable. It's brutal. It's brutal, but there have been some that have stuck it out with us. But yeah, we're at the Hallmarkies podcast is the largest podcast female led. There's one other one that's male led that's pretty popular, but we're female led.
That's cool. Good for you.
Thanks. And it's a lot. It is a lot of fun. I mean, if you're going to be a part of a fandom, every fandom has their ugly spots and not as pleasant parts. But if I was going to pick one, I think Hallmark is a pretty good one to be a part of.
The fandom's overall pretty wholesome, I would say.
Yes. Yeah. We were joking that if somebody doesn't like what you're doing, you're gonna get a crocheted. They're gonna crochet to you. they're dislike. That's about it. So you're fine. But it's great. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of crazy. This holiday season, which is starting actually, I don't know when this is going to air, but it'll be starting in just a couple of weeks, which is wild. This will be our 9th season, my 9th season covering Hallmark Christmas.
Wow, that's
almost a decade, which is wild.
Oh my goodness! Wow, you have enough. But as far as Cinderella goes, so Cinderella is the kind of story I think kind of lends itself to being retold many times and in many different ways. It's a very timeless sort of story, and it has been told a lot.
Yes.
I've seen quite a few. There's books and movies and TV shows and stage plays and musicals and traditional ones and modern ones and all different sorts. And there's so many good ones. I do like that our lists were pretty similar, which I think says something about the quality of the ones we chose. Yeah,
Yeah,
for
it
sure.
does seem like every couple of years there's a new Cinderella. And I think that's why the live action remake was more generally well received than some of the others, is because we're not as like attached to the Disney version as the definitive version. Even if it is
Yes.
a
Yeah.
favorite, like we're just getting so many different ones. And it's a story that in almost every culture has their version of the Cinderella story.
Hmm.
And it's just something that we innately as human beings are rooting for underdogs. So it's very appealing.
Yes. And I think it's interesting that stories like that, just in general, are called Cinderella stories, about these
Yeah.
underdogs or the downtrodden who are
Yeah.
overcome something to great triumph or happiness or something. You say that you hear it in sports and
Yeah.
life and everything. And that's very interesting. So I think that's why there's probably been so many.
Uh-huh.
And it's just a beautiful story in general, and that's why I love every single one that we're going to talk about.
You could
uh
even make the argument that Cinderella itself was a Cinderella story for the Walt Disney Corporation. Coming out of
yes,
the war, those
that's
wartime
true.
films, they
Yeah,
were, they needed a hit bad, and they got it.
yeah, I think it saved the studio, if
Yeah.
I'm not correct. Yeah.
Yep. So
So I'll start with you. What are some of your honorable mentions?
So my first honorable mention is one that most people probably haven't heard of. It's called Hey Cinderella, and this was a made-for-TV movie that was made by Jim Henson in 1969, and I think it was his first special, or was one of his first specials, and it actually it was the first appearance of
Hmm,
Kermit the Frog, which is kind of fun.
that's fun.
He Yeah, and so I love Muppets. I love all things Muppets on my channel. Everything called Muppet May every year, and the more I've done it, the more I've been able to dive into more obscure Jim Henson and Muppet releases. And it's just a fun piece of the Muppet history you should check out. It's a pretty, as far as I remember, it's been a bit since I saw it, but as far as I remember, it was a pretty basic telling of Cinderella,
Hmm,
but with the Muppets, early Muppets, so it's fun to see.
that's fun. Yeah, I did not know this. I love the Muppets, but I actually never heard of this. So I'll definitely want to check that out for sure, because I love the Muppets. Um,
Yeah,
is this like on YouTube or anything like
yeah,
that?
you can find it on YouTube, and if you go into my Muppet May, you can see my review of it as well.
Okay.
And I have a whole playlist of Cinderella reviews on my channel, because one of the very first movie series that I did on my channel was different versions of Cinderella. And I have pretty much all the ones that we're going to mention, I have a review of on the channel. So, Hey Cinderella, that's the first one. And then another one is Cinderella 3, Twist in Time.
Mhm.
You know, the cheap calls get the people are tough on the cheap calls, rightly so, because most of them were terrible. But this is actually one of the good ones.
Mhm.
You can feel that the team actually really tried to make something good. There's a real story here. There's a real effort here. There's real effort in the animation. There's arc for the characters. There's just, you can tell somebody tried to make something good with the resources they had. And it's a pretty good story of this, that, with Lady Tremaine getting the wand and trying to switch things back and change twist of time. And so if you haven't seen it, it's worth watching, just as if not the best, one of the best of the cheap ghouls. And it's actually entertaining.
I saw this a really long time ago.
Yeah.
So this is the one where there's like is there a love story for one of the stepsisters? Is that
No,
this
that's
one?
the second one. The second one
Oh,
is terrible. Don't watch the second one. But the second one is 3 smaller stories that are combined together, and one of those has Anastasia falling in love, which is the least terrible. The one that's the most terrible is Jacques becomes human, which is just
I don't remember
weird.
that.
Yeah, it was bizarre. So Cinderella 2 is horrible. Cinderella 3, it's so the plot of Cinderella 3 is Lady Tremaine finds fairy godmother's wand and
Okay, I
uses
remember
it.
that. I remember
Yeah,
that.
and uses it to go back in time. And what you might be thinking of is the prince is tricked into thinking that he's in love with Anastasia, and
Maybe that
Anastasia
was
goes
it.
along with it at first, but then she starts to feel increasingly guilty about it. And like the sort of the end takeaway for the character is like, you are deserve to actually be loved for you. And so there is like a little arc for her there, but the baker is gone
I think that's what I was
from
remembering.
the second one.
Yeah.
But I just appreciate it because I appreciate it when I appreciate scrappy filmmaking, and I think that's one reason why I like these Hallmark movies. Often, not all the time, but sometimes they do, is that they have minimal budgets and they do quite a bit with a little bit. And I feel like with Cinderella 3, they could have just phoned it in. They didn't have to try, but they really tried, and you can feel it, and it's way better than most of the others.
Yeah, I should watch it again then.
Yeah, I think you'd like it. I do.
So my honorable mentions are they're 2 like older movies. So the first one is The Glass Slipper. That's from 1955.
Yes, this is the ballet one.
Yes. So this one has Leslie Caron, who is a beautiful ballet dancer. And it also has Michael Wilding, Keenan Wynn, Elsa Lancaster, Estelle Winwood. Now, I'm a big fan of like MGM musicals, especially of this era.
Yeah.
And they have a certain kind of feel. And
she's a cook, isn't she? A cook?
No, she thinks the prince is the son of the cook.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that one in a while.
Yeah.
But yeah. Because
I
one of the ballets is in the.
Yeah, she dreams she's going to visit him, and then they're like cooking together and dancing, and that's so cute. Like the best part of the movie is all the dancing because it's so beautiful, and she's just, I could just watch her dance for a whole movie practically.
Well, she couldn't speak English that well, so I think that's why I was like, we got to do a lot of dancing.
Yeah, she does pretty good. She hadn't made that many movies yet. What I like about this one is they went a little different with her character in that she is, the abuse she endures makes her like lash out, and she's almost a little childlike, like I would say she's a little repressed. And so when she meets both the fairy godmother, who was just like the sweet old lady, even though you see that she is magical at the end, and then the prince especially, he's just so patient and gentle with her that it's very endearing, because you see it's like she's not used to someone being nice to her, that you see that she's not just this like bratty little thing, even though it's because everyone's always so nasty to her that she acts like a little kid almost. And it does remind me a little bit of the other movie she made around the same time called Lily, which I love that movie too.
I love Lily.
Yeah. Lily's better, I think, but this one, it has its charm. I love MGM musicals, so it just has this sort of overall feel that I love.
Yeah. A lot of people would probably recognize them. Hi, Lily. Hi, Lily.
Yeah.
Hi, Lo. Hi, Lo. The only thing I don't like about Lily is he's a little red flaggy.
Yes, a little bit. But, yeah, he's but it's like, oh, I guess that's just a mask for his unhappiness. But I agree.
Another one with just, I mean, the art design in Lily is so beautiful, and that ending ballet is gorgeous.
Yes.
Yeah, but yeah, I love the glass slipper as well. Like I said, it's been a while since I saw it, but I remember just being very enchanted by it.
Yes.
Yeah,
And then the other one is called The Slipper and the Rose.
Mm-hmm.
That's from 1976. I've only seen this once, so I don't remember everything about it. I do think it's a little too long.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
And
well, this, I mean, it's fun because it has the Sherman Brothers songs,
yeah.
which you don't get to see in that many non-Disney.
Mhm.
And the songs are really, really charming. And what's nice in this version is that you actually have her rescuing him at the end because
Mhm.
he's going to be forced to marry this woman he doesn't love. And she's kind of like perfectly okay in exile. She's told by the king, I think, that go away, leave us alone. You're not good for him, whatever. And
Mhm.
she's fine, like she's living her best life, away from him. But then she hears what's going to happen, and she goes, and she actually kind of saves him from that. And so it does kind of subvert that the glass slipper kind of idea, the rescuing kind of idea, like something from 1976 would probably be want to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, really fun. This one's, I think a lot of people would really like it.
Yeah, it just has such a beautiful quality. I love the artistry of the movie.
Yeah.
The costumes and the sets, and it was filmed in, I wrote it down. It was filmed in Austria and the UK, and beautiful, beautiful filming locations where they filmed this. And I feel like, yeah, the whole movie has this sort of like glow to it, and it's just pretty, you
Yeah.
know. And I feel like that's something that sometimes is lost in newer movies, because they always want to do everything on the cheap, and even like filming locations. Like I saw this thing the other day where it was showing the last Ghostbusters movie, where they weren't actually filming in New York. They were filming on a green screen, and then they superimposed the locations. And I'm like, seriously? You couldn't film in New York City? I mean, I guess it's
Right. And the
cold,
thing
but
is that they actually, you lose so much almost in the desire for realism. So I think
mhm,
sometimes when they make those kind of choices, they're actually trying to make it look like really real. But I would way rather have something that looks like, oh, this is clearly on a backlot, but oh my gosh, how charming is that? Like I would rather have that and have something that looks charmingly artificial than have something that looks like it's trying to be real, but it
mhm,
looks fake, you
fake.
know?
Yes. Yeah, I completely agree with that.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, I would say it's just a very artistic movie. And I even
Yeah.
saw in the trivia for it that there's a scene where she's on the swing when she's in exile, and it's a direct like homage to this famous painting called The Swing by, I wrote it down, by Jean Henro Fragonard. I'm saying that, I'm butchering that name, but a famous French painting. And I know that painting because I've seen it in like museum exhibitions and stuff. And just that sort of touch, I just really appreciate.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
So what is your number 5?
So my number 5 is actually the 2015 Cinderella
Okay.
is my number 5. And I think that uh, I love the theme of kindness and courage. I think that's really nice. And I love Kate Blanchett as Lady Tremaine. She is a very, very good wicked stepmother. You get a little bit of motivation from her character without like fully redeeming her character, which I hate in
Yeah.
these live action remakes when they do that. It's like we gotta redeem every villain because you can't have bad people anymore, evidently,
Yeah.
and that makes them
What's up with that?
crazy.
That's weird.
It's so annoying. I hate it. I and they've still tried to do it with Maleficent. They tried to do it with Cruella, certainly with all these, and it just makes everybody really bland. Nothing's memorable anymore because they all have to be redeemed in the same way, and they all have to have the same. And so was worried about that going into the Cinderella, but they keep her she's pretty selfish. there's not, there's like enough motivation, but not redemption, which I really appreciate. And you have them, her and the prince having some nice conversations together, some nice things. When I first saw her dress, I was like, oh, I don't know about that dress. But then when they give the context to it being her mother's dress instead of the fairy godmother's dress, I thought that was really nice. And they have all of the elements of the 1950 film, but it's in a new way. It's in a new. They don't have the same songs. They don't have the same, and so I really appreciate what it's doing, and that you have that message of kindness and courage. I think is really nice too.
Yeah. So this one I have at number 3 on my list.
Yeah.
And it's still my favorite of all the remakes they've done. It's still my favorite one.
Yeah.
And
I think it'd be hard pressed to find anybody who it's not very high up on their lists of the remakes. It's definitely one of the best.
I think a lot of people have it as their favorite, or at least in like their top 2 or 3. Yeah. I think it works because as someone who doesn't like mind, I don't mind remakes or new adaptations because I grew up watching lots of different versions of fairy tales in different films and stuff. Like in the 80s, they had so many of those. But it's not like a carbon copy. So it has the things you expect it to have, but then it adds things. But then the things that they add work. It's still like stays true to like the spirit of the story. And one of the things I thought was interesting, I really liked how much they emphasized the relationships with the parents for both of them. And that's like a way of connecting them before they even meet. And then, and I like how that in both cases, separately, it informs who they are as people. And that is why they connect so to each other in many ways. And some of the stuff they added for the prince I saw was stuff that they had cut from the 1950 version, like him running to get the chase the stag and stuff like that. I'm like, well, that's interesting. That's really nice. Then, because in the original one, the prince isn't in it that much. So
yeah, he doesn't even have a name.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
He doesn't even have a name.
Yeah,
he's just charming.
But this one is just. Yeah, I remember seeing it in the movie theater and just being like dazzled by how it looked and so beautiful, and the way her dress, I know it's like unrealistic, but her dress is just so beautiful, the way it flows and glitters. And I love the casting of the movie. I think everyone's really wonderful in it. Lily James was a beautiful choice for Cinderella. She has that sweetness to her and gentleness. And Richard Madden, which I know everyone thinks of him as someone from Game of Thrones, but I've never watched that show, so I think of him as the prince. And Kate Blanchett's very good. Because you see she's more realistic in her cruelty. And the stepsisters are a little over the top, but not so much that.
But in a fun way.
But it's fun.
And their costumes are incredible as well.
Yes.
Sandy Powell, I think, did the costumes. She did an incredible job.
I love how the way they went with the costumes, because you could go like just the standard like period way, but this way I think helps it add to the fantasy element of the story by elevating the different costumes. I think makes it more fantastical. And I love
compared to her costumes for Beauty and the Beast is far better.
Especially like the main dress was very
underwhelming.
Very underwhelming for Belle. I liked the last one she wore. I thought was pretty, but that's not the big dress,
Yeah, definitely.
And I just, it has that lovely fairy tale feel about it. And
But
I
it was
love,
nice that that they did tie it back to her mom,
yes.
and they kept the like I was like, oh no, they're gonna have the mice talk. That's gonna be weird. Like they did a good job keeping it grounded,
Hmm.
but having enough winks to the original.
And I love the idea that they brought in the spirit of the story, but then they added a new like specific theme with the have courage and be kind,
Yeah.
which is that's just a beautiful message. And I really love the way they tie that into her character, in that she, in that moment where she just tells her stepmother, I forgive you. I just think that's very powerful, because forgiveness is a really hard thing, especially to people who have treated you so horribly and abused you. And that, I know some people think, it's like they don't deserve to be forgiven, but it's almost more for yourself.
Yeah.
It releases you, and I just think that's a beautiful moment in the film.
Yeah, I mean that's another theme of just the story in general, not only being rescued and the underdog, but also the forgiveness and uh, that that element is also something people can really relate with
Hmm.
for sure.
So my number 5 is Ella Enchanted. That's from 2004. And this is like it's a loose Cinderella adaptation.
Yeah, I forget about this one sometimes.
um, it's very interesting. So I this is based on a book, but they are very different. So if I saw the movie first, so I don't know if maybe that's why I like it so much. Like if I'd read the book and then seen the movie, because they are polar opposites. But when I read the book, I found it interesting that the book is very good, but it's much more serious, and a lot of it is like letters. So
Mm.
it'd be really kind of difficult, I think, to film it completely accurately.
And she can't lie, right? Isn't that
Yeah,
the thing? Yeah.
um she has to do everything she's told.
Mm.
She's
Yeah.
given the gift of obedience. So no matter what someone tells her to do, she has to do it, and she can't control it. And so I think it says something about that you don't always have to be completely faithful to a book in order to have a good adaptation. It can be very different. And this one, it's so funny and warm and happy and colorful. And they are very clearly going for like a Princess Bride Shrek kind of feel. It's not as good as the Princess Bride, far from it. But I enjoy it much more than Shrek, because the problem I have with Shrek is it just goes a little too far with like mocking things. Like it's clearly mocking Disney and like making fun of
Yeah.
Disney, which is not like I don't really like the movie's not bad. It's just not really
Yeah.
for me.
The
But
problem that I have with the first Shrek, I think the second one is a lot better in my opinion. It's again not a bad movie, I agree, but I just think that it becomes kind of a one joke
yeah.
movie. Like I remember the first time I saw it, this is hilarious, this is so funny. But then like the second, third, it's kind of like, oh, it's not really that funny anymore.
Yeah.
It's kind of it's too reliant on the jokes,
Mhm.
instead of having that heart and soul. And the second one I think does better with the characters and the story and other things. And then of course, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish is the best of the whole franchise.
I still need to see that. I still need to see that.
Oh, you got to see it.
Yeah.
I love it so much. Really special film. But even you could make an argument for Shrek 2 being a Cinderella story, because you've got Charming in there, you've got Fairy
Sure.
Godmother in there, you've got a bunch of these characters.
But with Ella Enchanted, I think it works because it's very jokey, but it has so much heart and it's very sincere. So it's almost like it's
Yeah,
borderline it's borderline parody,
yeah.
spoof.
Well, and the fun songs. Don't
And
go back in
I
time.
love the music. The musical numbers in it are so fun. And yeah, first glimpse of how well Anne Hathaway can sing, and she fully commits to the role very, very well. And she's very funny, and I love all the supporting cast are clearly having a very fun time with their parts.
Yeah.
Like Minnie Driver and Carrie Elways, and that's clearly stunt casting on his part, casting him as the villain. But it works really well. He's just like doing that mustache twirling, thing, which I think is really funny. And I think Anne Hathaway and Hugh Dancy have very, very good chemistry. They're very romantic together. And first thing I saw him in, and I'm like, oh, he's cute. And
I haven't reviewed that one on my channel. I need to one of these days.
Definitely.
Review Ella Enchanted.
I think one of the things I like about it is, as someone who I've grown kind of tired of these movies that they're not modern, so they're like old, they take place in a fairy tale world, but all the they have so many modern jokes in them, and I'm really kind of over that.
Yeah, I can see that.
But this one, because it's like borderline parody, it's okay. It works.
Yeah. And, plus, it has the music, that helps.
Yes, the modern music. The modern music helps. So I wrote down 2 like favorite moments. So one is serious, one is funny. The moment where she breaks her curse. Finally. Now, some people probably would think like, why didn't she think of this to begin with? Because she does it by looking at herself in the mirror, and she's able to, she's able to, fight back, with the knife finally. But I'm like, but it works, and it makes the moment powerful and leads to the misunderstanding, and that's what I like about it. And then the other part is when she comes in at the end, and they're the prince is dancing with one of her stepsisters, and he literally drops her on the floor when he sees Ella walk in. It makes me laugh every single time I see it. It's like, I forgot I was even holding on to you.
Yeah, that's really good. Yeah, I forgot about those. Yeah, that's some good stuff.
Yeah. So do you have any other thoughts about Ella Enchanted?
I haven't seen it in a long, long, long time, but I just remember the music being I'm a sucker for a musical, so remember enjoying that.
I love the end when they're singing "Don't Go Breaking My Heart." That's really cute.
Yeah. Well, my number 4 is a tie. I have a Cinderella story and then another Cinderella story as a tie. Really, I could put this whole franchise of the Cinderella story. We did an episode of Hallmarkies podcast last year on the whole series. I think there's 6 movies, ranking them, and that was really fun. They're surprisingly good all the way through, even though all but the first were, I think were direct to DVD movies, but they actually tried, and particularly the Wicked Stepmothers they got in a very good group, because you have Jennifer Coolidge in the first one, who's hilarious, obviously. And then you have in this one, another Cinderella story, you have Jane Lynch playing this aging pop star, that's really jealous of Selena Gomez's character, and she is really funny. And I even debated, do I like this one better than the original?
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, that's how good. It really is very, very good. Another Cinderella story. Very, very funny. And but they're almost all of them are good.
I've only seen the first one.
Oh, so you got to see. Yeah, especially another Cinderella story. If you only watch one of the others, that one's surprisingly entertaining.
I think, but the first one is very sweet. Yeah. It has that quintessential 2000s feel, which I always love, and
Hillary Duff. Jennifer Coolidge is just so hilarious.
Yes,
it's a Wicked Stepmother,
and
it's got Regina King in it, Oscar winner.
What's the actress's name? She's in Hallmark movies now. Who's in it?
Julie Gonzalo.
Yes, she's so good at being so snotty.
Yeah, she plays a mean girl.
Yeah,
which is fun.
yeah.
And it has Madeline Zima as one of the ugly stepsisters who was in
From The Nanny. Yeah,
from The Nanny. Yeah,
yeah.
so that's sort of fun too.
It's cute. I love the line she says to him. I'm like, that's a great line because I feel like so many women could relate to that in so many situations. You know, that waiting for you is like waiting for rain in this drought, useless and disappointing. I'm like, that is such a great line. I love that. Hilary Duff she's so charming. I was a little old for it, but I did watch Lizzie McGuire. So when I saw it took me a while actually to see this movie though.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why.
It's got your classic 2000s. Everything has to culminate in prom.
Yes.
And there are things. I didn't go to my prom, and I feel like I missed out on an essential life experience.
Oh, that's too bad.
No, I was having my appendix taken out.
Oh my God, you poor thing.
Yeah.
I only went to my senior prom was the only one I ever went to, and I had fun. What was nice is one of my friends was helped me find a date.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and so he was very, no sparks or anything, but he was a nice like escort for the night and stuff, and very sweet. And it was like a big group thing. We all had fun. And
I did go to went to homecoming and went to a few others. So I wasn't totally addressed, but it just what are you gonna do? You got to get the appendix out.
Have it taken out.
But I think if you look at these movies, this is another one. It's kind of like Cinderella 3. It's easy to look at it and be like, oh, that sucks, but they honestly did quite a bit with very little. And I mean, Jennifer Tilly, she's one of the Wicked Stepmothers, and one of them.
Great.
She's hilarious. Here's what's her name? The actress from My Name Is Earl. She's
Amy Presley.
Yeah, she's in one of them. They have these great casts that are really funny. The last two are weaker. There's a Christmas one that's not great, and then there's one that's not. It's more 12th Night than Cinderella. I think they just slapped it on, and it doesn't really have anything to do with the franchise. But it has Bailey Madison, and she's great.
She's great.
So
yeah.
So
yeah,
it's actually a surprisingly good franchise, and if you're curious for more of my thoughts on it, you should check out that episode we did.
Oh, I will. Yeah, and everyone go and watch that.
Yeah.
Well, just to piggyback on what you're saying about like, even if they're like direct to video or TV movies, doesn't mean they can't be good, because I didn't put it on my list, but last year I rewatched, I think it's just called A Cinderella Christmas. I think that's what it's called. And I was surprised by how much I liked it. I'm like, this is pretty good, for one of these movies. It has Emma Rigby and I can't remember the actor's name, but he was
yeah, that one is fun. Well, I mean, so many of these Hallmark movies are basically Cinderella stories. They love these royal kind of fairy tale stories, and they are fun. They're charming.
I liked that one because the prince character, he's smart. Like, he's figuring out what's going on and whatnot, or a little earlier than usual.
Yeah.
And he's good. Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah, that one is fun. What do you think are the key elements to a good Cinderella movie? I think you gotta have a good evil stepmother, good fairy godmother, and you have to have a good dress reveal. I think those are the three.
Dress, something with shoes, something with the shoes.
With the glass slippers.
Yeah, you got to have the stepsister, step parent, whatever, has to be strong. and there has to be some sort of reason why they wouldn't he wouldn't recognize her. Those are like the key elements. But so my number 4, I also have a thing where I counted 2 movies as one. So I have Rodgers and Hammerstein Cinderella. So I have the version from 1965 and the version from 1997. I couldn't decide between the two because I love both of them. Mm-hmm. Now, even though you would think I would have seen the 97 version first, I actually saw the 65 one first because so that was when my mom like introduced it to me because she saw it when she was a little kid.
Then I think that's the Leslie Ann Warren.
Yes. Okay, yeah. And it was airing on the Disney Channel, so we watched it together. And I was pretty young, and I loved it. And I'm like, and then when the 97 one came out, I'm like, I love this one too. You know, they both have all that wonderful music. I think it's besides Sound of Music, I think it might be my favorite Rodgers and Hammerstein music. All the songs are just so good, and amazing lyrics, amazing melodies. It's like the lyrics like stick in your head really well, and they're easy to they're very memorable, I would say. And then the one, Do I Love You Because You're Beautiful, I'm like, that has just one of the most beautiful sentiments. It's like, do I love you because you're beautiful, or are you beautiful because I love you?
Yeah, that really is.
That is so beautiful and such a perfect description of what true love is. You know, when you truly love someone, they become the most beautiful person in the world to you. And so I couldn't decide between the two because they're so different. So it depends which one you watch is like what kind of mood are you in. Yeah. So the 65 one is very kind of like understated and a little subdued. Like the costumes are very sort of neutral, but very pretty. You know, golds and whites and stuff. I have a feeling they were trying to make it not look like the Disney ones. So no like blues or silvers or anything like that. They probably couldn't for legal reasons too. And I really like the cast. I think Leslie Ann Warren's very sweet. I think it's the first thing she ever did. I wasn't familiar with the Prince, but he was very good. And as a classic film lover, I love seeing Ginger Rogers and Walter Pidgeon as the king and queen. They're very good, and it's fun seeing Pat Carroll as the stepsister. You know, she's the voice of Ursula. And
I forgot she was in that. Yeah,
with her creaking knee, her knee always creaks. And the other stepsister, what is her name? Barbara Gordon. She's very good too. She her funny thing is she bats her eyes too much. So trying to counter that, all she's doing is that like she has like bug eyes, like not blinking. And that's funny. A lot of people don't know. Fun fact about her: a lot of people don't know that was John Williams's first wife.
Oh, really?
And she sadly passed away very, very young, and leaving him a widower, and their kids were not very old. But she was a very sweet woman and lovely actress. But as far as like that version of the movie, I love how lo-fi it is. You know, it's not like because
because both of them were made for TV movies. Yeah.
But the other one has a much bigger budget, you can tell, you know.
But they both have that like that's what I'm saying, like when people try to be super realistic, and sometimes it can lose its charm. Yeah. Sometimes I like seeing that backlot. Sometimes I like seeing that that this is something made by hand.
It clearly is a backlot, and I'm fine with that. And as far as like the differences, I like how in each of them they meet beforehand, but in each one it's different. So in the 65 version, he comes up and he's thirsty, and she's afraid to like even go outside. She's like, my stepmother will beat me if I come outside. But she's like, when she finds out he's thirsty, she's like, oh, her kindness overcomes her fear, basically. And he's very warm to her. She's warm to him. And then in the 97 version, it's more of like a meet cute when they bump into each other. And
well, in that 97 version, I mean, an early adopter of racial blind casting. You've got
yes, I love it.
Lead. You've got Brandy. You've got Whitney Houston.
Victor Garber. I love Victor Garber so much and everything. I love the blind casting in that. I know it wasn't the first time it was done, but I think it's probably one of the most significant ones.
I agree.
For sure. And I love how they went so colorful with all the costumes.
Mm-hmm.
And so it distinguishes itself from the other one. So
I really debated about, is this one my favorite? I really do love it. It is wonderful. Impossible.
It is so wonderful. I just love that music.
Mm-hmm.
And what was the other thing I wrote? Oh, I love how it goes a little bit more over the top, not over the top, but a little bit more over the top with some of like the acting, but it worked really well. And especially like Bernadette Peters is very good as the stepmother, and Whitney Houston, the way she plays the fairy godmother, I like that. I know early on she was almost going to be Cinderella, but then she's like, no, I'm too old for it now. So I'm glad she didn't have like a huge ego to say, no, I still want to be Cinderella. You know how some, even though she's too old, and it gave someone like Brandy, one of her signature roles, and she's beautiful in it. And I love the prince as well. He's got a beautiful voice.
Yeah. If you do see it on stage, you might be like, "Oh, this seems kind of different," and that's because when they did the 2013 revival, they kind of did a whole new rewrite on it, a whole new book. It's called the Topher version, and it's just like a little bit more modern, but it's still got those same songs.
I saw it, and I was so excited to go see it because I grew up loving both versions and loving that music, and the version I saw, that everyone was so good in it, and I got really nice seats, because sometimes tickets are expensive.
Yeah,
and I was able to get we were able to get orchestra seats, which was like a treat. But
it can be kind of alarming if you're not expecting it and you're like, oh, this is really different than what I'm used to.
Yeah, but I just went with it. I was just so happy to be seeing it.
It's really good. I love it. I just saw it a couple times this year.
Oh, how nice.
It's really,
so you have this on your list.
And the version I saw had like the most amazing wedding dress. I think it was incredible.
Where did you have it? Did you have it at number 2?
So I have it at number 2, but I really do love it. It's my favorite live action Cinderella.
That's true. I'm just realizing that. I get a little peeved though when people call it a remake. I'm like, no, it's not a remake.
It is a 1997.
Yeah, I'm like, it's not a remake because Disney put it out. I'm like, it's not a remake of the Disney movie because the original one Disney didn't make. It's an adaptation.
It's just it's like a revival. It's like on Broadway. You have revivals. Yeah. That's what it is.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's a remake either. But I think we might have the same number 3 then.
My number 3 is the live action Cinderella.
Oh, okay. Well, my number 3 is Ever After. Is my number 3.
Oh, that's my number 2.
Oh, okay, yeah. And this is like the academic Cinderella.
Yes.
You've got Da Vinci as the fairy godmother. You have her like reading Utopia and spouting philosophy. Their big like date is they go to like a library out in the woods, which is like That was like the best library ever. Very swoony, a lot of swoony scenes. Angelica Houston is absolutely brilliant in the movie. Gives a great performance as the evil stepmother. There's actually some motivation for her character about why she's behaving the way she is. And then you also have both the stepsisters are great, and she rescues herself at the end, which is fun. I don't mind a damsel in distress if it's done right, but it's considering she is this empowered version of Cinderella, it fits to have her rescue herself at the end. And of course, the Just Breathe when she comes into it has a great dress reveal with the wings and everything. That's really good. So yeah, it's a great version of Cinderella.
Well, clearly, I love this one too. If I have it at number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love how grounded it is, and that they chose not to have magic in it. That they make it the realistic Cinderella. So I love that they made like the godfather Da Vinci. I like that. It's just a stroke of genius, because he is kind of his paintings, his inventions have kind of a magic to them.
It was smart. It was a good choice.
And I think the two, Drew Barrymore and Grace Scott, have such good chemistry.
Yeah.
But I love that their relationship is not just like physical attraction. That's there, but I love how it's also an intellectual, attraction, emotional attraction between them. And like you said, excuse me, just one second. I need to. The dates at the library, and I love the moment when she they're with the gypsies, and he's like, you can have anything you can carry, and she starts carrying him up.
I forgot about that scene. Yeah, that's really funny. I'll get you a horse.
Yeah. I love how strong she is, but not in a like, how they nowadays, it's like, it's almost like annoying the way they have them. Like, she's strong, but she's not like irritating in it.
She's not. It's not really girl bossy.
It's not. No.
No, I agree.
She's strong in a more realistic, appealing
and
way.
She's still a woman. She's still feminine. She's still beautiful. She's still all those things. And I mean, that's why I really loved the Wonder Woman movie, because I felt like they were still able to keep all of her femininity. She's still cooing at babies. She's still, a woman, but she's also the strong warrior. And I felt like that's true here as well. Like this movie is made for women, where a lot of that other girl boss stuff is actually made for men. It's made to titillate men and to excite them. It's not really made for women.
And it's like that Cinderella from a few years ago was a perfect example of that. And I just did not like that.
That is a perfect example. Yeah, absolutely.
But I completely agree with you about Angelica Houston. She is the best of all the Cinderella movies. I think she's the best stepmother, because she has the most humanity.
Yeah, she's
even though she's so cold and cruel, but that scene at the end when he dies and she is so devastated, and she's just screaming, "You can't leave me here." And you could see she did love him, and
but then she says, "I barely knew him."
But she did, and you could see the jealousy in that moment when he's saying, "I love you" to his daughter instead of to her, and that's where it starts. And that's so well done. And I love the other moments between Danielle and her stepmother, because the one where she's looking at her and she's like, "You have so much of your father in you," and she's so happy to hear that. And then she's like, she has to stop herself. "Oh, your features are so masculine." It's like she can't be nice for a second.
Right,
she has to herself. And then the end is just so it's heart-wrenching when she's like, did you ever love me? And she's like, how can anyone love a pebble in their shoe? I'm like,
Yeah, it's so good.
that hurts so much. But
it's an underappreciated performance. It is really good.
it is. And she's a phenomenal actress in like everything she does. But this is one of her greatest performances for sure. And I think this is probably my favorite Drew Barrymore performance, honestly. I think she's
yeah, I mean, unless you're going way back, I mean,
well, like E.T., but like adult performance.
Yeah.
I mean, she's good in her rom-coms. I love her in like
I like Wedding Singer.
But I like this one more.
Yeah, no, I agree. This is her best. I agree.
And I think it has one of the best apologies from a man ever in a movie. When he goes to her and he's like, and, you know, at the first sign is basically, I abandoned you, I'm so sorry. And then he's like saying her name and she's like, say it again. He's like, I'm sorry. She's like, no, say my name again. He was just so contrite and genuine. And
I want to watch this movie. It's been a while since I've seen it.
I rewatched it last week, and it's been a long time since I've seen it. And I'm like, yeah, this is just such a swoony Cinderella. And I love the score. The score is beautiful, and the cinematography, the especially especially that scene where it's like the woods, like these old ruins. I'm like, oh, this is so pretty, you know? Yeah. It just makes me feel good every time I watch it.
Yeah. Well, we have the same number one.
Yeah. Oh, one more thing. I wrote down a favorite line that it just makes me laugh from the king. He says, I will simply deny you the crown and live forever.
Yeah.
Like, you're funny.
And doesn't he say something like, that's fine with me?
Good.
Or something like that?
Good. I don't want it. That's fine by me. But anyway, yes, we have the same number one. It's the Disney's animated film from 1950. Yes.
There's so many things that are wonderful about this film. I love the whole little journey that she goes on from being rescued by her friends and then making this dress and then it getting torn apart. And then how devastated she is. She's been such a hopeful character, and then for her to finally lose hope, and then for the fairy godmother to say, "If there was no hope, would I be here?"
Yeah.
And this is the thing is that people say, "Oh well, Cinderella needed to be rescued by a man." It's false. She's not rescued by a man. She's rescued by a woman, by the fairy godmother. Like. She's not rescued by a man. Like she falls in love, but and you could make an argument. Who cares if she's rescued by a man? There's nothing wrong with that. But even if you accept that that's not a good thing, that's not what happens in the story. She's rescued by a woman, by the fairy godmother, and by her friends who help her, and
because she's so kind and because she has faith. Yeah.
And what wonderful, beautiful music. And one of my favorite moments in Cinderella is I love it in animated films when they take a second to just let us breathe with the characters. And everything has gotten so plot heavy these days that everything has to matter and everything has to be important to the story and got to be part of dialogue and all of that. And they've forgotten to just let us spend time with the characters. Not everything has to be so plot heavy. And one of my favorite scenes in Cinderella, one of my favorite scenes in all of Disney, is the Sing Sweet Nightingale sequence, which that sequence does not need to exist. It does absolutely nothing for the plot. It is not important for the character development, for anything. It's just this beautiful piece of animation where we get her playing with the bubbles and singing this beautiful song, and we just get to spend this time with her character and grow to love her character. I love that Sing Sweet Nightingale sequence. It is beautiful.
Yeah, I remember. So when I was on your channel and we I counted down my favorite Disney animated movies. I remember that you bringing that up, that it's just such a beautiful moment because it just exists to be pretty, is what you said.
Yes, exactly.
Which is true. And I love that because it's something we've lost in these modern animated movies where everything has to be a clip a minute and choke,
Yeah.
and things can't just relax and just exist for artistry or beauty or sweetness and gentleness. And this movie is so beautiful in every way. I mean, the messages, the characters, the animation. I love the backgrounds in this film, like
the Mary
Blair backgrounds, and the sense of scale is so
especially
great.
with the king.
Yes,
because how small he is.
Yeah.
And a huge bed and everything.
But I love the moment in the beginning of the movie when she's walking into her stepmother's room, and he's small, but she's so imposing because of the how large the room is.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
The darkness in it. And then the moment after they tear her dress apart, and you see her running away from such a distance, I'm like, that is so well done. And I thought about it, and I'm like, it's almost like you're watching it from the perspective of the fairy godmother. She's looking down on her like, she needs me now. I need to go to her. And and I love that moment. She's like, if you'd lost all your faith, I wouldn't be here, and here I am. And it's like, as low as she felt, it's still in her, because that's just inherently who she is. She's a hopeful, faithful person, and who hasn't let her abusive, cruel family harden her. And that is really what the heart of the Cinderella story is. It's not about that she marries the prince. That's wonderful that she finds love, but that's not really the heart of the story.
Yeah, because that's not really what the rescue is. The rescue is her going to the ball.
Yes.
The falling in love with the prince is just sort of a bonus.
I love that she didn't know it was the prince she was dancing with all night. And she would have been perfectly content with just having that beautiful night out and that wonderful memory and the shoe. She's like, oh, thank you. Now I have this, slipper to remember my beautiful night out. And she would have been fine. Just finding out that was the prince, she's happy about it, but she was fine not knowing that, and I love that the song "A Dream Is a Wish Your Heart Makes." It's not inherently about finding love. It's just about not giving up on your dreams and not losing hope. And a dream could be anything. You could dream of anything. It's just, in her case, she's not talking about finding a prince. I'm not going to criticize Snow White with the "someday my prince will come." I'm not going to criticize that. I think there's something wrong with that. But someone could argue like, oh, she's just, waiting for that. But this one, you can't argue that. She's not saying, I'm dreaming of marrying a prince so he can rescue me from my horrible family. That's just something that happens because she doesn't lose faith, and because she's a good person,
Yeah. And what beautiful singing from Eileen Woods. Oh, absolutely beautiful.
And
I kind of wish we'd gotten a villain song. That would have been fun.
Yeah.
But they didn't really do villain songs then. We didn't really get a villain song. I mean, there's like Captain Hook, Shanty,
a little bit.
Like Shere Khan kind of has a little bit of the ending of a song. That's what Friends Are For. But there wasn't really like real villain songs until the 80s.
Yeah.
Radigan.
The only one I could think of is the other one in the Jungle Book, the snake.
Oh yeah, Trust. That's cool.
That's the only one I can think of.
Yeah, but Maleficent, she didn't have a villain song, but I would have loved to have heard Lady Tremaine's villain song. That would have been fun.
Yeah,
I don't like
Now,
that. I heard that.
I don't know if you know this. Did Eileen Woods do the like acting out of the scenes as well for the animators? I think she did,
I
but
think she did too, but I'm not positive
I'm
on
not
that.
positive. But beautiful, beautiful
Oh,
speaking voice, singing voice. I feel like the animation even looks a little bit like her, and as far as like, I like that her proportions are a little bit more realistic. She's not so, I mean, she's slender, but compared to like Sleeping Beauty, who's like so like angular and like not like realistic looking, Cinderella looks a little bit more realistic proportion wise. But
it's true.
I think the Sing Sweet Nightingale, I think that's one of the first instances of I saw something about it the other day where it was a new thing to double up the voice, where the accompaniment is her voice too. It's not another singer.
Oh, really?
I think that was sort of a new thing, which makes the song that much more beautiful and layered. And yeah, it's just such a lovely movie. When I rewatched that part of our video, I had it at 7. I think you had it at 4. And I like how the comedy is compared to like the comedy in newer movies. It's just more, just sort of cute.
Yeah, you gotta love they have a cat named Lucifer. That's hilarious.
Yeah,
there's maybe like a tiny bit too much of the mice. I can
a little bit, but it's cute and charming, and it's character driven, and it doesn't feel like it doesn't feel modern. Do you know what I mean? It's not a modern joke in it. It's just situational.
Yeah.
Like them carrying the key up the stairs.
I wonder why they decided to make her dress blue in the Disney Princesses lineup, because it's not blue, it's silver in the movie. It's a silver dress, not a blue dress. And because they did that, that's why they went with pink for Aurora. Is because I
don't know.
Because Cinderella had a blue dress, and so they had to go with pink instead of blue for Aurora.
I know, because everyone thinks her dress is blue, and it's not. It's like this silver. And I wonder if it's just because blue stands out more, and they wanted it to be just, a little bit more colorful. Maybe. I don't know.
Or they didn't want it to look like a wedding dress, maybe?
Oh, yeah, that's true. I guess it could look... I mean, she wears a different dress for getting married, but...
that's true. That's the mystery of... It's like the mystery of Ariel and her green dress. What is this green dress?
Yeah, where did that come from?
What is it? Why is she wearing it? Like...
I don't understand why they don't put her in like that pink dress or something.
Yeah, I don't either.
Because no other character. I even know Aurora has a pink dress, but it looks completely different.
Even in the sequel and the prequel, she doesn't wear that green dress. It is non-existent, and yet she's in it in most of the Disney stuff.
It's weird.
The mystery of the green dress.
But what was the other thing I was going to say?
But yeah, this is one of the great masterpieces of animation, and one of the great masterpieces of Disney animation, for sure. And
speaking of her dress, I do know that the transformation from the dress is Walt Disney's favorite piece of animation. He said that. Yeah, he said that was his favorite piece of animation, and I'm like, it is. It's beautiful the way they did it. And I was lucky enough a few years ago. I went to this exhibition at the Huntington Library. It was what was it called? I can look it up. It was like Disney movies, like inspired by like French and Renaissance art.
Oh yeah.
And so they had things from Cinderella, Beauty and the Beast, Sleeping Beauty, Tangled. They had stuff from the parks, and they showed that frame by frame of each like drawing of the transformation of her dress. And it's amazing to look at it. And so beautiful and magical. And
Yeah,
I just
that.
yeah, it was a beautiful exhibition. I'm so glad I went to it. But yeah, this is just one of the loveliest, like classiest, just films in general, not just animated films ever made. And yeah, I'm not surprised. It's both are number ones. Like, it's a movie I love. Like, let me show you this. I loved.
Aww.
And I'm so glad they made these. It's a journal, but I just use it for decoration, basically. I have that one, and I have the Sleeping Beauty one, and because that's one of my favorite parts of Disney movies is that book opening.
Yeah.
So iconic, and that's a beautiful memento I have. And yeah, Cinderella, so many beautiful versions. I love this one. I'm so glad we both have it at number one. I'm not surprised.
And as we said, like, it was even a Cinderella story for the Walt Disney Corporation. It really saved them. And so it's very special.
But before we go, why don't we each recap our top 5, just to remind everyone. So you can go first.
So I have 2015, the remake. I have a Cinderella story and another Cinderella story. I have Ever After, Cinderella 1997, and 1950 animated film.
So I have Ella Enchanted, then Rodgers and Hammerstein Cinderella, both the 65 and 97 version, the 2015 Cinderella, Ever After, and then 1950s Cinderella. But yeah, that's going to do it. So I hope everyone enjoyed listening to this. Thank you for being one of my first guests.
Yes.
I knew you would be a great guest because you're so great on your own channel. And
thank you.
I'm really happy you picked this topic because you're like the perfect person to talk about this.
Oh, thanks. It was super fun. Thanks for having me on.
And you will be back around Christmas time.
Yes.
For 2 different videos. I haven't decided when I'm going to do it. Maybe one in November and one in December. We'll have to figure out you can tell me your schedule, but I hope everyone enjoyed watching this, listening to this. If you did, please like it, please share it, please give it a thumbs up. Everyone go watch Rachel's Cinderella videos and go subscribe to her channel. Please subscribe to my channel. I'm still a growing channel, and this is new, but I'm really enjoying doing it. And so I hope everyone enjoyed listening, and have a good day, evening, whenever you're listening to this, and take care. Bye.
Bye.